Welcome to my Xbox One S reparations video for my 20% project. Got the Xbox One S displayed there. We're getting right into it, taking off the shell of the Xbox, getting down to the circuit board where the main problem is, or at least where we soon to discover the problem is. So this is a long, tedious process, taking it apart, finally getting to this point where we could uncover it and get the proper tools to actually take the Xbox apart. Thankfully, I had the help of my cousin Gregory, who is definitely familiar with electronics and technology, so he was able to guide me through this process. I was able to get an understanding of it and how everything really worked. And it's definitely heightened my interests for electronics. So as you can see now, I clearly sped up the video because it was a long process, and it's about 20 times speed. This is over 2 hours of footage, so brought it down, condensed it, make it good for your viewing pleasure. But we're just taking off we took off the fan, took off the heatsink just then, that caged part, the X on it. And right now, we're checking the voltage on the components. So we need to make sure that none of these components are overridden or shorted out. So we're checking the voltage, making sure that it is what we assume it to be, a power supply issue. So we're just checking main power supply components, and we discovered that this is a power supply issue. So in order to fix this, it's gonna require a bit of a clean. And so now I'm taking off the thermal paste, which is it sticks to the cage part, that heat sink on the circuit board, and this basically allows for no overheating of the Xbox. And if you didn't have a heatsink, then the Xbox would be practically worthless because it would always just be on fire or overheated. And so I have to take off the thermal paste and then move over to cleaning. So the cleaning portion got the circuit board in a sink. I know it's surprising that you can just wash the circuit board with your hands and soap and water, but you can, which I found really fascinating. So I got this brush meant specifically for cleaning components. So I got dish soap and hot water. They're just going at it, cleaning the debris, getting all that erosion away. And this erosion is what caused the power supply issue in the first place, we came to find out. And so this is 1000% necessary in the entire Xbox processes, and for, I can guarantee, many Xboxes, you need to clean the circuit board up. Get some nice soap and water on there, make sure it's hot water, and it really just had to go at it, scrub it. This was definitely a long process, but got it done. Put it in the dryer. That's the little drying bin we had it in for a few hours. This was the after product after I cleaned it. You can tell it's pretty clean. And so now I'm reapplying this thermal paste that I took off earlier and placing onto the heatsink, so I can put the heatsink on and get it back to its normal state so we can begin putting it back together, getting everything ready to power it back up on again. So putting the X on to secure the heatsink onto the circuit board. And now we put it back into its silver shell. We put on the power strips. So those strips are meant to turn on the Xbox, eject the disc out of the Xbox for games, so on and so forth. Just simple stuff, practically. Screwing it back in and putting the power supply in, put the fan in. That's the disk drive. But I noticed an issue with the circuit board, which could have been an issue with why it wasn't powering on as well in the first place. And this is because the circuit board was heightened off of the shell, and so this didn't allow the circuits to run properly. So I had to fix that up, make sure everything was nice and tight in place as it should be, typically. So I needed to assure that and go back. Yeah, you have to do it. It's necessary if you want everything to work. Definitely worth it. So you can see I'm unscrewing everything, screwing it back in. And I'm just getting the shell back on. I put the fan on. I put the power supply in. That's the disk drive, the bigger block, and the hard drive. And we're just making sure everything's working. And here's a shot of me back at home. I turned it on. It works, thankfully. I feel so accomplished because this was definitely a challenging process. It was very annoying to deal with, a lot of these components and small things, but everything was working and I was most definitely satisfied. I can say this was a huge success and I learned from it, so I'm happy. And there it is, just for assurance. Yep. Thumbs up. Call it a day. Thank you.